Older homes in Lancaster are full of charm, but knowing the right inspections to get can save you thousands of dollars. In this video, I'm going to be covering the different types of inspections, when you should get them, how much they cost, and how much they could save you. Is a general home inspection good enough for older homes? A general home inspection is essential, but sometimes in our competitive market, it's not always possible to get one. Now, these tend to run you around $400 to $600, can be a little bit more if it's a larger home with a detached garage. During this, they're going to go through, check the major appliances, things like the roof, HVAC, and just see if they make sure that everything is in good working order. Should you get a termite or pest inspection? Yes, especially with the older Lancaster homes, which are built in the 1800s, you will almost certainly want to try and get yourself a termite inspection. These are going to cost between $75 and $150. Basically, what we want to do is just make sure that all of the wooden beams haven't been eaten over the last 200 years. Lots of properties have probably been treated for termites in the past, so as long as you don't have any active ones and they've been previously treated and they can document it for you, you should be in pretty good shape. Do older homes need a septic inspection? So once again, the older the home, the higher the risk of something having gone wrong. So if you've got a home that's maybe 35 years old or older and it has a septic, you're probably going to want to get a septic inspection as well, unless it happens to have been replaced in the last couple of years. In the city, you may not have a septic, but you have the old cast iron sewers. So getting yourself a sewer scope, this will run you around $200 to $350, rather than a septic inspection, can also save you tens of thousands in case you had to dig up the road. A septic inspection, on the other hand, is going to run somewhere from around $350 up to $1,000, depending on what you're having done and the type of septic. When is a structural or foundation inspection recommended? Now, if the home is older and you go down into the basement and you see some cracking, maybe there's been some settlement or you've got drooping beams, this would be a good indication that you want to get yourself a structural engineer out there to make sure that nothing major is gone wrong. These are going to cost you somewhere between $400 and $1,000, and structural repairs can be tremendously expensive to do, especially if you're buying one of these old townhomes. It can be very difficult to repair and pretty costly. Typically, you'll get one of these if it's been flagged by a general home inspection, but keeping an eye out for gaps so you can put your hand into is probably going to be a good idea. Should you test for radon in older homes? Yes, absolutely. In Pennsylvania, radon is quite common, so do, especially in these older homes, go and get yourself a radon test if you're able to. Some homes may already have radon mitigation systems in them, in which case you're probably in pretty good shape, but again, you just want to get that meter reading checked. Is it worth getting an electrical or plumbing inspection? I would say absolutely if you can. Now again, the more inspections you ask for, the less likely you are to get your offer accepted. But for example, if a property has knob and tube wiring and it's throughout the entire home, it can cost you about $30,000 to $50,000 for an electrician to come through and rewire the entire house. So for the sake of $150 to $300 or getting an electrician out, it's going to save you tens of thousands of dollars in the long run. Are lead paint or asbestos inspections necessary? So once again, these are older homes that typically there is a risk that they will have lead paint or asbestos. My home that I'm sitting in right now, we actually had documentation said that the city had come through and remediated the lead out of it. Basically, they tend to just paint over it and remove any major lead items in the home. But you want to make sure, especially if you've got younger kids, that the home is going to be safe from lead. For asbestos testing, it's going to be $250 to $500. If you're planning on doing any major remodeling, an asbestos test may be useful because if you get halfway through a remodel and you find out you've got asbestos, A, it's not very healthy for you, but B, again, it can be very expensive to get the experts in to get it fixed. Now, it may seem very scary to buy an old home, but they are full of charm, and let's be honest, they've been standing for the last 100, 200 years, so the chances are, if you look after them, they're going to be standing for another 100 years. Getting a home inspection is one way to protect you and also just give you an idea of what you may need to replace and fix over the coming years. However, if you see any major red flags, you could save yourself an absolute money pit. Now, if you're still uncertain about buying an historic home, check out this video where I cover the different items about what to expect when buying an older home.